Welcome to UNCAGED. Today we're speaking with Mitchell Kosowski. Mitchell, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Mitchell is the Vice President of Engineering at the company called Vouched. Vouched is one of the leading players in identity verification solutions. We're going to be talking to them about all of the cool things that they're building to improve identity verification online. They are an AI-powered, fully automated identity verification platform designed to confirm a person's identity in real time. The claim that I have here, Mitch, is under 7 seconds. So that's pretty exciting. If that's the case, you're probably going to tell me it's down to 2 seconds now, but we'll see. But before we get to talking about Vouched and what you and the team are working on there, tell me a little bit about yourself and your career.
Yeah, absolutely. So undergraduate, always got a shout out the Carnegie Mellon, as well as my master's in computer science. Throughout my career, it's kind of been a mixed bag. So I started out as an options trader. Then I went back to school, got my master's, worked in cybersecurity software and startups. I've worked for the Ethereum Foundation and blockchain, consumer-facing products at Blue Byte. And then I've also been on the other side of the table. I've worked for a venture capital firm called Insight Partners, as well as one called Beacon, before joining my current role at Vouched. In general, I like to think that I've worked at the intersection of building software and also leading the teams that build it. And so I'm definitely like a player coach role. I still write code, I review PRs, and I architect systems, even and especially as a VP of engineering. We could talk more about that. I do think that this is kind of the future of engineering leadership, because the technology is changing so quickly that the leaders who kind of disconnect themselves from the code, I think, will ultimately lose the ability to make good decisions in this day and age. But that's me in a nutshell.
No, absolutely. Well, I mean, amazing background, and certainly all of those experiences have built you into the person that is now driving engineering at Vouched. So let's talk about the Vouched story. Tell me a little bit more about what you guys are up to.
Yeah, as you mentioned, AI-powered identity verification, 7 seconds, less than 2 seconds. I think actually a lot of our flows are in the sub-seconds. So even in the hundreds of milliseconds, we're kind of going after. But the name of the game is we want to verify millions of identities annually, or we do, with speed, accuracy, and also compliance. So we recognize documents that require different types of capture, different prompts, and in seconds, or in some cases milliseconds, we verify this validity. We can capture selfies for certain flows for biometric liveness detection, ensuring that the person is physically present and avoiding deep fakes. This results basically that in compliant onboarding that blocks fraudulent identities without adding a lot of friction for legitimate users. We're always thinking about conversion, but also preventing fraudsters.
Yeah, preventing fraud is always key, but identification has been, I'd say, kind of probably one of the biggest topics, one of the best things and one of the biggest problems for the digital world. I can't think of a time in my marketing career where someone has been trying to figure out identity better than others, and also whenever I talk to CISOs, in the security community, they're always trying to figure this out. Tell me where we are on that path. I mean, are you seeing that we're kind of seeing some major breakthroughs?
Yes, I definitely think so, and definitely have to shout out our team at Vouch, because we just won the Identity Verification Solution of the Year at the 2026 FinTech Breakthrough Awards. So there you go, there's one, as well as in 2025. So we were back-to-back winners. But as you mentioned, in terms of fraud, we're seeing kind of a fraud explosion. Basically, any high school student can log in 5 to 10 minutes, can generate an ID that looks to the human eye as legitimate. But so we have to stay ahead of these deep fakes, these synthetic IDs, stolen credentials. And what we're seeing is that traditional verification methods of just purely knowledge-based authentication, very simple document uploads, those are failing. On top of that, in the fraud, we have a lot of broken workflows that are out there. So most businesses will still, or a lot of businesses still rely on manual review, outdated KYC workflows. So if we have second or sub-second verification, that competes very well against things that take days or even weeks. Now we also have the agentic side. So we call this Know Your Agent. We are some big players in this as well, some first movers. Now we kind of, with agents, we multiply the problem by 1,000,000. Because the AI agents are transacting on websites now, accepting terms and conditions now, making purchases, and the law is catching up, and we're kind of like, we're doing some very exciting things with this. So those are some of the challenges that we're kind of seeing. But yeah, we want to stay on top of these things. So every time we're kind of going after, we're consistently looking at our fraud detection, adapting to these models. We're getting better and better at looking at liveness checks to really stand in front of deep fakes. And also, like, synthetic identity fraud is something that we're seeing right now as well, where we're finding that criminals are combining real and fake data to create new identities. And so we're also staying ahead of that as well. It's an arms race. It's a cat and mouse, but I think, yeah, we're definitely keeping ahead of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's getting kind of like these crazy text messages, from a company saying that I had like an open ticket in like one of the states, and I was like, oh, and it's exactly what you said. They kind of pulled some real data, some fake data, and you're like, oh, is this real or not? It gets harder and harder every day, I think, to evaluate that type of stuff, for sure. Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I mean, the cool thing, though, Mitch, is that these are real big, thorny problems that you're facing, and I assume that's probably one of the reasons why you do what you do. But tell me a little bit about where the passion comes from for your work in this space.
Yeah, I'm just super excited to work every day. It's, I bet people kind of say that, but I really mean it. It's really fun to me. Our IDV platform, right, protects real people. My mom is like a prime target for a lot of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And we're able to kind of step in front of these and protect her from losing thousands, tens of thousands, or even more after this. So every fraudulent identity that we catch, that's a potential victim protected. And we take a lot of pride in that. And by the way, the scale of our impact, millions of verifications, means that this work is super meaningful. Tactically, I do, as I mentioned, really enjoy that player-coach duality. And I think this is something that AI now enables. We're big fans of Claude Cowork, Claude Code. So for me personally, 1 hour I'm in a PR review and I'm solving something technical, and we're fixing something. And the next I'm presenting, on a roadmap to the executive team, to the CEO, to say, hey, here's where we can kind of capture more value. Mm-hmm. This type of range really keeps me energized. And it's one of the things, too, that I'm thinking about, and I've written a little bit as well. I have a little blog here called Signal versus Noise, with about 3,000 subscribers on both LinkedIn and Substack together.
Cool.
Where I'm kind of talking about this. I think that the role of just a pure executive CTO that just manages and does not code is most likely going away, because the friction there is so low, and you can get into the code and you can kind of do those reviews, have a good understanding, and kind of keep the team moving forward. And I think that this is one of the things that, hopefully my role at Vouched keeps us moving forward. And so those are some of the things that keep me excited. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I mean, I imagine, firstly, congratulations again for the team for winning back-to-back titles. But tell me a little bit about what's on the roadmap for Vouched for the rest of the year.
Yep, absolutely. So hopefully we can three-peat, like Michael Jordan, maybe three-peat again. Basically, we're after a world where this identity verification is getting more and more seamless, instant, and universal, where we prompt the end customer, the end user, as little as possible to have as much confidence as possible. Whether you're onboarding a new bank account, verifying your age, or proving your credentials in whatever way, takes seconds and milliseconds. And that happens with full privacy protection. So we can basically kind of say that this person's old enough to use this service, and they don't even have to supply their age, right? It's already just confirmed. Then also from the agentic side, basically the AI agent operating in commerce that has a real identity, just like every person. Right now, the space is kind of wide open for agents. A lot of agents are basically just acting as a person, but it's not a person. Like it has like if it logs into my Gmail, it has everything there. It can send emails and stuff like that, but it's not me. So we are kind of the opinion that agents now are where email was, 20, 25 years ago, where now we're going to have a lot more guardrails. You're probably familiar with MCP. We have our flavor called MCP Identity that's getting a lot of traction. So we're setting ourselves up to be a thought leader in the space, and basically kind of giving the first steps towards the future, that harnessing a lot of the power of the agents, but at the same time having appropriate guardrails, so they can't just go totally crazy. So yeah, that's kind of our hopes for the future.
That's cool. Well, listen, I mean, Mitch, if someone wanted to learn more about what you and the team are working on, where's the best place to get in touch with you?
Yes. Please follow me on LinkedIn. So I'm Mitch Kosowski. I'll spell it out because my name is Polish. Kosowski at LinkedIn. I have about 31,000 followers on LinkedIn, but always want more. And who's counting? Signal versus Noise is my LinkedIn newsletter. It's also on Substack. And for Vouched, we're at vouched.id. Please check us out. See how we're fixing identity for people and agents. And looking forward to those reach outs. Excellent.
Well, I mean, Mitch, it's been great talking with you. And I would say that listening to where Vouched is playing, it's a really interesting time and an interesting evolution, and clearly you guys are the market leaders in this space. We've been talking to Mitchell Kosowski about his company Vouched. He is the vice president of engineering there, and we've been talking about their solutions in industry leading identity verification. And really kind of exploring where we are. It's moving fast. I would say that it's also one of these fields that's getting presented with new challenges every day. As you all read about things like deep fakes, etc., there'll be a continued set of challenges presented to Mitch and his colleagues and his team going forward. But I'm excited to see the progress that you guys are making and where this is going. Thanks so much for being on the UNCAGED show today, and we look forward to having you back.
Thanks so much.
Cheers, Mitch.